The atmosphere was tense and quiet as Jungkook and Ryan sat across from each other at the table in the exclusive restaurant. There was a strange tension in the air, even through the silence. Jungkook's expression was difficult to read, his eyes focused on the menu, avoiding her stare. Jungkook's attention was momentarily drawn to his phone when the notification chime went off. As he glanced at it, he was the last transaction notification, confirming his suspicion about Sophia's gold-digging tendencies. He could not help but mentally scoff at the amount, shaking his head slightly. In a swift motion, he shut off his phone, placing it down on the table with a thud. He looked at Vian and asked Jungkook, "What do you want to eat?" he asked. He noticed she seemed quiet and a bit tense, something different from her normal composure. Vian looked up from her own menu, her eyes searching his face for a moment before she answered. "Vian, I am not sure," she muttered, picking up the menu again. "I will probably just have the salad." Her mind was still a whirl of thoughts and confusion, and her appetite was nowhere to be found. Jungkook, "Don't overthink," he said, his voice a little gentle than usual. "I simply invited you because I don't enjoy eating alone, nothing more." His words were a faithful truth. Yes, he did not enjoy eating alone. But there was another reason he had invited her, a reason even he was not quite sure of yet. Despite his attempt to downplay the invitation, Jungkook could not ignore the strange pull he felt towards her presence. There was something about her that drew him in. He found a sense of calm in her company, a stark contrast to the constant chaos he navigated as a mafia leader. Vine nodded, her smile small but genuine. "Yeah, Vine. Oh, okay," she responded, the tension between them easing just a bit. The rest of the dinner passed with a quiet formality. They sipped their drinks, ordered their meals, and made small talk that stuck to safe, impersonal topics. Sophia also entered in this restaurant with a boy beside her, maybe her new boyfriend. She was laughing at his jokes when she spotted Jungkook sitting there, her face turning pale in an instant. She quickly whispered to the young man she was with, telling him to leave quickly, clearly not expecting to see him there. The boy she was with, startled by her reaction, hesitantly said his goodbyes and rushed to leave the restaurant. Sophia approached Jungkook with fake enthusiasm, her words dripping with a sickly sweetness. "Sophia, oh, darling," she gushed, feigning surprise. "I did not know you were here. How wonderful to turn into you." Jungkook looked at her with a mix of irritation and annoyance, his expression growing colder each second. Mine's eyes widened, watching the unexpected encounter unfold. Sophia, her eyes narrowing as she noticed Ryan sitting with Jungkook. Her initial surprise turned into a mix of confusion and disbelief. "Sophia, Ryan, what are you doing here with my fiance?" she asked, confused. "Jungkook, do you both know each other?" he inquired, his voice tinged with a hint of suspicion. Sophia's expression tightened with anger, her hand clenched at her side. She glanced at Ryan, her eyes narrowing with resentment. "Sophia, of course we know each other," she replied to Jungkook before turning her anger towards Ryan. "You bitch," she spat. "How dare you come towards him? How are you trying to seduce him?" Jungkook, his eyes narrowed, his tone warning, interrupted Sophia. "Jungkook, mind your tongue, Sophia," he said, his voice low and commanding. He was not going to tolerate her outbursts or jealous behavior. Sophia opened her mouth to retort, but Jungkook's glare silenced her. She was pushing her luck, and Jungkook was not in a mood to tolerate this. Vine spoke up, her voice calm but firm, cutting into the tense silence. "Vine, that suits you well, and I will give you an answer later, because I am on my job now, Sophia," she said, her eyes locking with Sophia's. "And just for your information, he is my boss, and I am his secretary." Sophia, "Oh wow, now you got a job on his office because you are jealous of." She was about to continue her rant, but Vine quickly cut her off. "Vine, shut your mouth, Sophia," she said, her tone cutting. "I got this job before your so called marriage was fixed." Jungkook, visibly frustrated and confused, looked at the now tense exchange between the two women. His gaze flickered between them, demanding an explanation. Jungkook, how do you two know each other? He asked, his voice carrying a mix of curiosity and a hint of command. Wine responded calmly, starting, Wine, she is my stepsister, sir. Jungkook turned to Wine. His tone is surprise. Jungkook, but you did not mention to me that Sophia is your sister. He said, his eyes locking with hers. Why did not you disclose this before? Wine corrected him. Wine. Stepsister, she emphasized. She continued, and I am your secretary. I came here for work. I did not want to mix personal relationships with professional ones. She kept her tone even and professional, trying to maintain composure. Sophia looked at Wine with disgust. Sophia, with a smug look, started to cling to Jungkook, her arm wrapping around him, her tone and actions overly familiar. Vine, though her expression remained professional, felt something else growing within her, a ring of jealousy. However, she swallowed it down, maintaining a calm facade. The tension between the three became palpable. Jungkook in the middle, Sophia's hold on him possessive, and Vine trying her best to hide her feelings. Jungkook, visibly annoyed, slightly jerked Sophia off with a quick motion. Jungkook, stop it, Sophia, he said, his tone authoritative. I'm in the middle of business, he lied, attempting to end her clinginess. Sophia, not letting go of Jungkook's arm, playfully tugged on it. Sophia, come on, darling, she said, her tone chirpy and sweet. Jungkook's patience was wearing thin. He shrugged off Sophia's hold with a quick, sharp motion. His grip firm. Jungkook, Sophia, go, he said, his tone broking no argument. Sophia, turning her attention to Vian, sneered and said, Sophia, why would I have to go? Don't you have manners, Vian? When a couple is trying to spend some time, you should go, her said while smiling, aiming to provoke Vian. Her jealousy cleared. Vian's eyes narrowed, her composure still barely holding as she resisted the urge to lash out. Sophia's jealousy and attempts to provoke her, while evident, were not going to work. With a cool tone, she responded, Vine, you can't give me orders. I am his secretary, not yours. He looked at Sophia. He had to handle her personally. Then he looked at Vine, his expression softening, said to Vine, Jungkook, Vine, you can go home now. He used a sweet voice, his attempt to mask his frustration with the current situation. Vine glanced at him, her jealousy still a tumultuous mix of emotions. She did not fully understand why she was feeling this way, but she noted her professionalism keeping her feelings hidden. Jungkook's sudden change in tone and expression surprised her, but she composed herself and nodded, silently accepting his command to leave. The jealousy she felt earlier was still churning within her, but she held it back, maintaining the mask of professionalism as she moved to collect her things and leave. As Vine left, Jungkook forcefully dragged Sophia to a quiet corner of the restaurant. His jaw clenched in frustration. He was clearly not pleased with her possessive display and he intended to disown it. Jungkook, what the hell was that back there? He snapped, his voice low but tense, his eyes piercing hers. Sophia, what was what? She challenged back, trying to play innocent. Jungkook, his patience at his limit, quickly grabbed her from her neck, his grip a bit tight, his tone filled with anger. Jungkook, I told you to stop your nonsense, he seated. And if you ever try to cling to me or provoke the situation again, I will show you what my mafia side is truly capable of. Do not test me. Sophia, I was only trying to protect my engagement. She defended herself, her voice tinged with resentment. His grip on her neck a warning, his tone harsh. Jungkook, shut up. He retorted, I know exactly what you are trying to do and give me back my credit card you used for shopping. her figure crumbling under his intense glare, quickly fished out the credit card from her purse and shoved it into his hand. Her trembling was evident. He held the credit card, his eyes meeting her, his tone now more controlled but firm. Jungkook, if you want money, he said, just be silent, and I will give you. Don't try to cling to me. I know all about girls like you. Jungkook gave her one last glance, his expression still stern, before he released her from his grip and turned away, moving back into the main area of the restaurant. Vine walked into the house. The atmosphere tenser than she had expected. Her father and stepmother were sitting on the couch, looking serious. Sophia sat across from them, her face tear-stained and reddened from crying. She knew this was not going to be a pleasant conversation. Sophia seeing Vine enter. Sophia looked at, she is here. Their father looked up from the seat, a mix of exhaustion and disappointment on his face. Sophia continued to sniffle, avoiding Vine's eyes, as if blaming her for whatever was about to unfold. Vian looked at Sophia, already guessing that she told them about everything and would spin some fake story and make Vian the scapegoat. She braced herself from the imminent scolding, anticipating the tension and frustration that would fill the room. Vivian stood up from the couch and walked towards Vian. With an expression of annoyance, without warning, she quickly slapped Vian across the face, the sound sharp and resounding in the tense silence. Vian, her face slightly reddened from the slap, met her stepmother's eyes with a mix of surprise and anger. Her nostrils flared, her fists clenched, and her eyes narrowed. The sharp slap felt like a catalyst to the smearing resentment she often tried to suppress. Vian, Vivian, don't you have any shame? Jungkook is Sophia's fiance and you were trying to seduce him, she stated, the words hanging in the air like a dagger. Vian, her eyes winding at the vile accusation, turned her gaze to Sophia. Seeing the telltale smirk on her stepsister's face, she then looked at her father, her voice firm and defensive. Vian, he was my boss, dad, Vian replied, her express defiant.